United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, be with us today as we go about the business of county. Help us, Lord, to keep in mind those, the best interests of those that we represent, Lord. Help us to be civil and respectful in our discussion or deliberation. Help us to be mindful of your teachings for us, Lord, and help us to be, again, just working in the best interests of those that we represent. Ask all these things, Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. We had a chance to look at the minutes from August 20, 2024. Make a motion, we accept minutes. I second that motion. Okay, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Julie, what do you have for today? First, we have the weekly allied health insurance claims. Those are about $13,415.82. And that is $19,040.03 of prescription, $20,375.79 medical, and I did sign off on the verification payments. All right. Thank you. Any questions on that?
82 cents at the end. Oh,
What each of them?
okay. 48 for 15.
Did you make motions? Yes. Second the motion. Okay, motion carries to approve that claim as presented. Okay. And then we have the allied monthly for September. The monthly allied claim was $66,424.54. $66,424.54. That's the administrative cost and so forth. Okay, for that. Any questions on that? Motion approved. Second. Okay. Motion carries to approve that claim is presented. And we have payroll claims. The payroll claims are in the amount of $368,778.35. $368,778.35. Okay. Motion approved. Second. All right. Motion carries to approve the payroll claims as presented. I made that motion. Yes, I did. Just wait for you to sign there. Get it going. Okay. You should have received payroll time card information previously. So I would for the payroll time card approval. Okay, do I have a chance to take a look at it? Motion approved. Second. All right, motion carries to approve payroll for appointed positions. Next, we have the animal control report. August. Presented by Chad Spencer, 21 total animals, 617 total miles. And he is a moving board. Should we give a copy to each of the?
We got it. Oh, yeah. Huh. We got 10 Geneva calls down there. See that, Steve? Geneva Bar? That's what we're saying. Hey.
Mr. Rated Steve.
I don't know if you've got that many cannons.
It's a lot of driving down to Geneva. Down there and back.
Those are all Steve Coogan's animals too.
Any questions on the animal control report? Any comments on the animal control report? No. Motion to accept that report? Second. Okay. Motion carries to enter that in the record. Okay. So I hand it to you for the meetings of utilities paid online. And the amount of the utilities paid along is $34,716.11. $34,716.11.
Motion approved.
Second? All right. Motion carries to approve that claim as presented.
That is all that I have this one. Well, yeah, that's all I have because of this.
Okay. All right. Nate, how come you always get to go before Brad? He's been here longer than you.
Hey, someday you can mess with him and change it up.
Your mouth do the schedule however you like. All right. Oh, yeah, just, well, they're gonna have this way.
Whatever Tony lets you do.
Yeah.
So, clear with Tony first. Just a couple of things for you, small structures, KBL completed 430 on Wednesday of last week. That's the one that crosses 1200 south, there's east of 500 east. They were started on culvert C 217 on Monday. Shouldn't have that actually done today. I was out there just before I came into this meeting. They're putting some of the bedding stone, should have the surface stone delivered and in today. That one crosses County Road 350 south, east of 200 east. They are planning to move their equipment over to C 218 tomorrow. That's the one that crosses 100 south, half a mile west of 500 east. So they're just going from nearest structure to nearest structures. They're moving away from the county. We're the way to stand, so you'll maybe get some clarity soon on that one. Yep, and Fish completed the crossing on Salem Road last week, and I've been bouncing around on that one. They finished that one Friday afternoon, so that one has been opened up to traffic. So that's kind of the status I've got right now, but again, I'll just keep you posted each week as which ones we get done, which ones we're starting on next, or at least the short-term look ahead. And then lastly, log jam river cleanup. Mike Worling contacted me yesterday about a log jam there in Lynn Grove. He is proposing to do some work cooperatively. I believe he's got some funds for log jam cleanup, and he's got another one in the vicinity that's kind of near a road, not near a road. So maybe we could partner together on using some of those funds for some other log jam removals when they're together. So I just wanted to let you know.
How you guys work together, if it affects a bridge or if it affects things like that, is that kind of the tie-in there?
Some of that's just the tie-in, it's just the partnership between the two of us as far as how we try to address it. It's all our problems, because usually the log jams are some sort of obstruction. If I have no jurisdiction at all, then it's really not much that I can do with it, other than maybe putting him in contact with some of our contractors and working with him on that bidding process. But it's his streams that are carrying the logs to our roads and our bridges. So it needs to be cooperative. So I'm glad he reached out. Happy to work with him on it. So.
Well, and I know that was a dedicated effort several years ago that Paul Noy had too, to really work on the St. Mary's, and so we set aside money just for that purpose and to serve it in our budget too for that type of cleanup.
So I've got some money to try to address that. It helps the bridge piers out, and it avoids underwater inspection issues. So that costs us more money later on. So I'm staying on top of them, and it really just makes the bridges look ugly. It's sort of kind of make your bed sort of attitude about it. So it's not overly expensive, but it is time consuming, and they come up when you don't want them to. So
How does that work with bridges in town here on Jackson Street and 224?
same process. I mean, as long as we have the right of way, if we have the jurisdiction, like the state bridge on Monroe Street 224, I don't have anything for that. NDOT does that. We can submit complaints so that it gets on the record and moves up the priority list. But we wouldn't have any area or standing to go and do that work. But the Jackson Street Bridge, we've cleaned it twice since I've been here. So it's pretty aggressive as far as the cleanup process, but thankfully we've budgeted for that, at least to do as much as we can. So I'm trying to stay on top of it.
I assume this is a good time of year when the river's so low.
When the river's low, that's helpful. When the river starts to come up, it makes it a little more dangerous to be doing that work. And that's when the river comes up and the road jams are there, is when there's more turbulence, there's more flow velocity, so that's when the damage is done or can be done around the bridges. So we want the channel to flow like it's designed to, and it doesn't flow like it's designed to when you put a maple tree across the bottom of the bridge.
I guess as an example of that difference, one of the things we learned about in drainage board is there's a tree that is across St. Mary's, between Pleasant Mills and Decatur. It's fallen, but it's not in the river yet.
Yeah.
So I think that Mike's gonna get that removed. So that's a drainage board issue, a drainage issue versus a bridge issue. So we'll get that one before it becomes a bridge issue, which it would.
Sooner it will become untenable, one or the other, so that's why the operations there, I got it on the side of my office, it's like on my, it's not on my side of the boat.
Yeah.
And kind of about that we need to work together on this, because there's no benefit in saying it's not my problem, because it's our collective problem.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that, I mean, if something happens with it, it may be a drainage board discussion that I'm involved with, or it may be ours, either way, so.
We should cooperate.
Yeah.
Thanks to Smith for bringing those up, so can't be everywhere.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, so, all right. Well, now we're playing second fiddle.
And that's all right. Good morning. Good to see all your smiling faces.
Well, we're smiling so far.
It's not very good out there yet.
So I'll just tell you, on a day like today, when it's going to be as hot and humid as it is, we normally run 4 loads of oil, but today we cut it back to 2, just so that way they're not out there in the heat in the afternoon. So we told them, come back, check your trucks over, make sure everything's ready to go for
I
tomorrow.
don't know how high it's supposed to get. Is it supposed to 100 today?
Well, it was like 90, 95, 105, but the index, we went back
Instead of 100, I think.
yeah,
5 up to.
yeah, so it's not safe to be out.
Yeah.
All right, the first thing I have is I handed out the monthly draw for aviation local road and street. And the first thing you notice is, for some unknown reason, I should ask this sometimes, somebody from the state, but August is always low compared to everybody else, or every other month. So I'm not sure why, I should ask that sometime. So for the month of August, in MVH, we brought in a total of $189,517.01. $189,517.01. And on the other side of the street for the month of August, our amount was $27,490.93. $27,490.93. And there again, it follows the same pattern. August is always a lower month.
That is interesting how the other months are so consistent.
Yep.
Till August. But you're right, it's always like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's August, and it's lower.
Still ahead though. All right. Thank you.
Need a,
So moved. Second.
thank you.
All right, motion, carries.
All right, the other items I have, the work that's NDOT's doing up on 224 out by 101. We've already done an unofficial detour for the one side of 101, and now I've got one for the other side of 101, which both those projects got moved back about a month, and I believe it was because of the work on 101. Because it's really hard to close 224 when 101's closed. So actually, the work is going to be going on through the end of October. So for this one will be on the west side of 101. And my proposal to NDOT was the unofficial detour would be go up 500 east from 224, go 500 east, to 700 North, and then that takes you right into Belmont. So they were good with that, and so as long as if you guys are good with that, and there again, we do our best to try and think of the way they would go, and it hasn't mattered.
Last time enough from 500 to 700, that won't be a problem for trucks.
Well, see, it's not a truck. Technically supposed to be any, non-load truck routes.
Right.
Correct. But last week, we did replace 3 stop signs up there from non-load trucks, making the turns and taking them out. 3 stop signs. So it's not uncommon, it just, last week was busy for that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 stop signs at 3 different intersections or at the same road.
So real quick, not take time, but we were heading, going across, heading over to one. And as we're going across, we come up to the crossroad, boom, there's another one down that hadn't even been reported yet, so it just happened. And so we fixed both of them, and then a few days later had another one, but all different locations. So what we're trying to do also is when we see that, if we think it's gonna be a problem ongoing, we try to move the stop signs back about 3 feet. That way it gives them a little more room to make that swing, which we don't want them out there, but
Well, I know I had one complaint from somebody about, trucks using
yeah.
unapproved routes out there, so.
Yep. And if we don't have anything posted, we can't really do anything about it. I don't believe.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, that's the route we chose to give them, so. You guys are,
When you move those stop signs back 3 feet, do you compensate for what's growing in the side of the fields or whatever's on the side?
yeah, all the ones we did, there was actually no fields there. They were houses. Yeah. The fields, yeah, we try and keep an eye on that too. And I remember if I told you a couple of weeks ago, we went out and trimmed some corn down here and there where you can't see very well. Yeah. Yes, we try and picture all that.
Good.
Yeah. So if you guys are good with that, I need some signatures.
Okay.
Talk about the unofficial route. Yes, the unofficial detail. Motion approved.
Second.
Good, motion carries, thank you.
My last thing is when you guys were signing that. Winchester Road, north of 900, kind of where the High Ridge development they want to put in that. We've been, once they really start talking about that, we start doing some looking up there. It's actually a 45 mile per hour right up to where that development is going to start. So what I'm looking into is, we've got traffic counts up there. I need to see if there's a speed survey done, and if not, if we can have one done. But I would really like to see that taken down to 45 and just extending that going north. It's probably gonna be about 3,000 feet because there's also a slight curve up there and the road coming this way. So I thought I'd like to get past that curve, start 45 slowly, and then through that whole development there, it's gonna be 45 all the way down to pre-stress. So we're gonna basically just be extending it.
Yeah.
So, good, yeah. Whatever you need to do there, I think we owe that to those residents out there. Yes.
Yeah.
And other than that, chip seal's going good. We're over 40 miles now. And we were shooting for 75, we might go a little more, but once we got it up and running, it's been doing well. So we've had good weather and equipment's doing good.
Yeah, what were the unofficial detour, what were those roads again, it wasn't listed.
Yeah, you're on 500 east
Okay.
out to 700 north.
500 east, 700 north.
And then west Belmont Road.
Yeah.
Which is also 200 east. All right, that's basically all I got.
So, good. So, equipment's running good, no tractors running good.
The one we had, yes, it was running good. We actually pulled him off of that because he had finished another class and he's out putting edge stone on.
Oh.
You know, the edges that remove when they go down, we got him out putting edge stone on. But yeah, everything's, yeah.
So, Brad, you want to drop down on Winchester from 55 to 45 on that longer stretch?
Yes,
55 now, you want to lower.
yes. We're starting at 45 and now where it ends.
Yeah, then it just back to Decatur.
No, it'll be going up north.
You said you moved this.
Right now, it's 45 too. So, but I want to extend it north.
Okay, yeah, okay.
I went to Vandenberg on stage last week.
All right, we've got the MLBC director, and he's not here, obviously, Roger. So, we're calling for building maintenance, probably won't be here, he's got some issues at the courthouse. I don't think he had anything else to report. All right, Ed's not here as treasurer. Shelley's not here. Paul and Mark, did you have anything for us?
I think so, we just waiting on these, open up these quotes, Rod. I think Rod had an appointment somewhere, but he thought he'd be here, so.
Good.
If not, I think those have been turned into the auditor's office.
They're right here.
We got them right here. Yeah, okay.
You need to just open them.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah,
So how about we just open them and read them?
I think it's set for 10:30.
10:30, we'll accept the open.
Then we'll wait till then.
What are they for, Mark?
It's quotes to take down the house out at
Oh.
Oakwood under the flood mitigation.
Okay.
Okay. Shannon, do you have anything for us?
Waiting on Rod.
Okay. Yeah,
Dan has,
I don't know if Ed's coming down, did he say anything?
he wasn't there when I was up there earlier. So we'll
So,
be
does it have any?
quick meeting. He wasn't there. I gotta
Okay.
Go up to, I have a meeting up with Rod up in Fort Wayne that day, too, so I'll chase him back to Fort Wayne.
Anything on the auction, we're gonna set a date, sure.
As far as I know, it's the 14th.
So there will be an auction at Golden Meadows on September 14th.
And so I don't know any details. Has he got with you, Shannon, on any details yet?
We talked about a couple things. He went out to community corrections, to take pictures the other day. And, we are working on getting the trailer possibly from EMA and then a truck from the sheriff's office to include. And then we just kind of talked about logistics, loosened up a little bit, but nothing major.
I don't know the date or the time or anything. I just know it's the 14th.
He said 10 a.m.
10
and he
a.m.
said that they'll arrive at about 7:30. And then we're gonna put together a plan that we go to get the vehicles out there, so they're not sitting out there for the next couple of weeks, stuff like that.
Are we selling that tower?
The tower.
The radio tower or not?
Oh, I don't believe so. No.
Okay.
I don't believe
I
that.
wasn't sure if that was there just to serve Golden Meadows or if that was there to serve.
I think that's a Hayward meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm in the process of trying to figure that out. I'm making sure it's still used or not, so trying to figure that out.
Okay, but for now, it won't be sold, it'll stay there. All right.
Hey, guys, I've seen the Golden Meadows van out parked out here in front of the server complex. Is that gonna be sold also? The van?
Yes.
It's got Golden Meadows name on it.
Shannon, is that correct answer? We're gonna sell that van?
Yes.
I just thought that was-
We just didn't want to sit out there and get vandalized.
I figured, what do we use?
Parking lot here, so it's
Right.
just sitting on.
Yeah, maybe if it gets the message.
Okay. All right.
When it hits 10:30, we can open those, go do the spots.
All right. Steve, anything else?
Not that I can think of. I will report that I think that we are opening the responses that we got from the four consultants that would be that are vying to work with the Vision Group. Those interviews took place on Thursday this week, so we'll be having all four of those that responded in for interviews. And then I think once we have a recommendation from that, it's a subcommittee, the steering committee. We'll put that steering committee back together and make sure the steering committee signs off on that before that recommendation comes to the commissioners.
Okay.
But obviously we have to get that done before the end of the year because those are ARPA funds that got to be committed before the end of the year. So we'll have that back to the commissioners, I hope sometime within the next 30 to 45 days. But those interviews take place on Thursday this week.
I did see something from Bree and I didn't look at the emails as far as the funds that were left.
Yeah.
There he is, the mayor now.
Funds for what, Arthur?
All right.
Now we can open them. Come on up, I'm ready for you, buddy.
You ready?
Yeah.
We typically have the bid scheduled to open at 10:30, so if you're gonna talk, sing and dance for 5 minutes. Yeah, but that's what you're opening and so forth, I guess. So yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, this is Rob Wickenberger from the Maumee River Basin Commission. And he's here in cooperation with Adams County for a floodplain restoration project.
Ron, you can give a little bit of a public service announcement about how this works and why you're here, why you're involved, and what MRDC has involved with making this happen for us.
Okay, I'll stand back here so. Well, FEMA announced an acquisition program for, properties that are routinely or are substantially damaged in either a single event or if they're properties that have sustained multiple flood damages. And for those of you that are familiar with the Decatur area, we bought out 101 houses here, working with the city. And of course, the Maumee River Basin consists of the Adams County Commissioners, the Adams County Surveyor, and a member of the SWCD. So even though the project back then was done in the city, it actually involves the county as well. This project here today was a structure that has sustained multiple damages. I won't get into the nitty gritty. Let's just say that unfortunately, it's for one of the emergency services personnel here in Decatur and Adams County. And it's really frustrating when the public needs his service, but yet he's faced with trying to protect his own house. And so after the last flood, we said, listen, are you interested in an acquisition? And he said, absolutely. And so that's sort of how we got here today. So.
Where's it located? What's the location of it? What road?
3314 Hickory Road. Yeah, North Hickory Road.
Hickory Road.
That's in that, there's a map, it's in Oakwood. It's in Oakwood.
I didn't know what it's in Oakwood.
Yeah, I was just looking for the final specs. I know we reviewed that and we sent it out. I think were the quotes due yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, so that's,
Both were due yesterday, we'll close the business.
yeah, so you can open it. Go ahead.
Well, and just to appreciate what you've done and working together with Mark and, you know, to make this happen. And then in cooperation with trying to put this together in lieu of a federal program. It's been a long, sometimes frustrating process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sadly, the program is drying up. It's not as readily available today as it was even 2 years ago. So we're really fortunate that we got the grant.
My history, Ron, and correct me if I'm wrong, with all the work that's done in Decatur and now this home, not in Decatur, Adams County in particular has received a very significant amount of help from this program, from this FEMA program, even more so than any other county in the basin.
Yeah, any county in northeast Indiana.
Yes.
The 6 counties in the basin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rod's really wanted that for us, and this has been a great program for Adams County in particular.
interesting you say the funds are going up, but it's floodplain mitigation.
I didn't say, I had the same idea.
But just remember one thing, there's always a hydrologic cycle. And you know, when I first became director in '96, we were flooding about every 2 or 3 years. It was just a routine. Sometimes the floods weren't as bad, but then, you know, there were some floods that, you know, I could name off the years, I've got them embedded in my brain. But since 2015, which was the last big flood, here in, Decatur, Adams County area, we've been, just really dry, and that's not typical. So, you know, I hope people don't get complacent. We've done a lot of good work here. There's still work to be done, but it's hard to get folks to, you know, stay engaged when you go through 7, 8 years of dry weather.
All right, we just have two?
Two's all we got.
Two's all we got. All right, first one we have is from Landis Excavation LLC, located here in Adams County. And to remove the structure according to the specifications, the amount is $18,500. It's Landis Excavation LLC. $18,500. Then all the work is done according to specifications that Rod had put together and the instructions to bidders.
So Rod, does that include the demolition and the removal of the structure?
Yeah, it'd be returning the entire lot back to open green space.
Okay, good deal.
Down to 3 feet below grade or how?
Yeah. We didn't allow any fill to be brought in outside of that subject lot because
Okay.
that would be in violation of our floodplain ordinance.
Okay.
And so, you know, any filling and regrading would be from everything on site.
And then the county will take possession of that lot. Is that correct?
After closing.
After closing.
Second quote is from Lumenville Excavating. Same thing, according to specs, to the removal. Total amount, $20,872.50. It's $20,000, $872.50. So I guess the question is, I think as soon as you issue, is it a notice to proceed or as soon as you award the contract, does that start the timeline?
Well, what we're gonna have to do is, my recommendation would be, the bids are substantially higher than what we plugged into the grant. So my recommendation would be,
Just take them under
take them
advisement.
under advisement. Or the other option would be, to reject them and rebid them. However, but we are at least $6,000 higher than what we got in the grant.
Well, I'd say maybe take them under advisement and then see kind of what the options are.
Okay.
Make a motion, to take those bids under advisement.
Second.
So the motion carries. How did we arrive at the figure that rose in the grant?
In the grant, we had solicited 2 quotes from local contractors. And those were used, to prepare the grant application. Now, the sad part of it is, the grant application went in, it's been, 2.5, going on 3 years ago.
So things have
So
changed.
things have changed. That might be part of it, but, boy, that's significantly high.
So if we decide to accept one of these bids, how is the difference or how would it be made up? Would it be made up by the county?
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that would be a possibility. The other possibility, which I don't think can happen,
would be to come back to Maumee River Basin, but we have a board policy of a cap of 30,000 per property. And we're at that cap.
So in order to make this project work, Maumee River Basin Commission has already contributed $30,000 worth of matching funds to match the federal grant money.
Correct.
Has Adams County committed any funds yet?
No.
Okay,
No, the
Very
only
good.
question there is, can you, and if so, where from?
sure. So we need to figure that
What is our timeline?
out. Just depends on how long the bids are going for.
The sooner the better, but, I mean, at least we've got a little bit of time,
But
but
I was thinking there was an urgency to get this done.
well, they're in us from the standpoint of trying to help out the flood victims.
Gotcha, okay. All right.
All right, let's see what the options are. We're gonna talk, so. All right.
Well, thanks for all your work on it.
Yeah. Thank you. Come down, Rod, and we make copies of these, send them to you.
So, sorry it took you so long, so much work to put the whole thing together, but you're right. Sorry it took you so long, and so much time to put the whole thing together.
This is I say the expected at least 2 more minutes. That's, I'm
Southwest corner, I saw the map.
I guess disappointed.
Sure. Yep. Very good. We'll see you too.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to get Leslie and something.
And, send, keep the originals, I'll scan them and send them to you again right around. You can send a copy to Brooke.
Oh, you're picking the label, right? We're heading out to Rod's office. I think I have Rod. Let's make sure I got Rod. Legislature. I'm sure glad I'm not a legislator. I think everything else next to her right now. Yeah, I do have this email.
No, even with the, 9% inflation on top of that 20.
Yeah.
That's only $2,500, so we're still way above it.
About this.
Yeah.
Me, I'm still like that without the down to our office.
Anything else on that, Mark?
Okay.
Shelley? I was trying to figure out with the inflation on the email, $3,500 there. Both of them.
You write this down?
No, we just reached out.
This is easy. This will be quick too, so.
I don't know.
As you know, at the beginning of the year, when we were preparing for a primary election, we were getting our vote centers, and I just broke my glasses.
Hey, man, just a second. Hey, Jim, we're going to take that interview outside if that's all right. Sometimes the microphone's just.
Oh, bummer. So, we had already had the other 5 lease agreements signed. The typical vote centers that we're gonna have for the general, which is the same ones we had in the primary. So we went ahead and already had approved that back in February. But we were still unsure of the Geneva location. After talking to the hospital, they said, go ahead, we'll allow you to still use it since it's still up in the air with Geneva taking over that building. So I just was gonna ask you, commissioners, if you wouldn't mind signing, and that way I can send it to, Adam Miller for his, signature that we have at least a contract for the general.
Well, this is a dumb question, but I remember they're still gonna have power, heat, all the
That's been the contract.
everything.
Supplies of some needs, if they have to let us know, like, you know, the essentials that will need to be used during the day and stuff like that. Because I even make sure for pack bags, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Need to still, have that, and then we'll worry about something in 26.
I know that facility that we used before is going up for auction in October, so whoever the new owners is, we might be able to.
Because that was a nice location.
Yes, it was.
What would you use that over?
It was there at that recreation hall there at the church there on the corner. That new recreation hall. It was nice.
The church owned that though.
Yeah, but it's had the last service last weekend, and it's being sold in October, so we might wanna check after that auction. And if the new owners, just a heads up for
Is the new owner sitting beside me here?
Stan. That's, you heard that.
I was thinking there of Pastor Steve Coon.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea. I might be reaching out to Geneva.
I just wanted to bring that up, so food was on for a later date.
It is difficult down there to try to find a location in Geneva, it really is.
How much is your lease for? What do we?
This will be free.
That's my.
Free.
But typically, what is the, you pay for that for the day?
So other vote centers charge $40 a day.
$40.
So other vote centers, I get a, billed because they would like just a little coverage for the lights and stuff like
Right,
that.
yeah.
So some of the vote centers that are long-standing, like the Caper Bridge, First Missionary and Ben Burn. So they still, I still keep to the same amount.
Sure.
That's pretty cheap.
That's free of that.
Just like that. Stand in a motion to accept now, sign this contract, make a motion.
Motion carries to sign the contract with the hospital for use of this facility. Thank you.
Do you want a copy of that?
Yeah, I would, yeah, next time.
Just to have.
You just want to scan one and send it over.
Because what I'll do is, once I have it signed by the hospital, I'll get you fully executed. Fully executed.
Yep. I'll watch it. Shelley, we haven't started to work on the courthouse yet, have we? The generator project.
That none I'm aware of. I don't know if that's,
What's the hospital using this building for right now?
what they're doing is they're trying to have Geneva, I think it's in the transition part where they're transferring ownership
Yes, to Geneva.
to Geneva.
This is not a Geneva building, right?
They're not.
Because I was trying to reach out and said, I really would like to use it again since the people knew and
Didn't they talk about putting the police department over there? Geneva?
in that building, or
I thought.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
they would have a lot of gutting it out because it's a medical clinic that's,
All small rooms.
a lot of walls. Thank you. Not that this was on the agenda or anything, but just a real quick, transportation for voting equipment. What I did in the primary was use 2 U-Hauls for election day. Well, I would use my own personal vehicle for the satellites and travel board, which caused a little bit of an issue because it's not my truck, it's my husband's. And so when one of the poll workers were trying to help me get a booth out, because have you seen those booths? And I broke the back of the bed. Oh, that wasn't a good husband. I heard it for months. Anyway.
Chris, so easy going.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it made me rethink for at least satellite transportation. Well, U-Haul doesn't have really like these cargo vans, those perfect cargo vans like, Amazon has and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I looked into Penske here at Ace. So I'll be able to work with them to get that just for the satellite. Now, the travel board, I'll probably still use my own personal vehicle. But this is something that the election board and I were having a discussion if the county had anything. The only problem is
Well,
I don't want to maintain a vehicle.
doesn't solid waste have a cardboard truck that they pick up cardboard?
That's too big for just 6 machines if I'm doing it. So something like a cargo van is like a perfect size. It's enclosed. I could put 6 booths in there and go on that.
Really, you don't have anything down the highway like that, do you?
No, I was saying, what about Gold Meadows, man?
I just saw that out there. That's why I was going to.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything like that, I mean.
I think, yeah, I want to pick up the stuff, I want to have something closing it a little bit, to cover the machines that, because there was one day it was raining and I was hurrying up trying to.
Well, what you need, what you need. Just, just.
Do you want to just continue?
I'm selling for.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna continue with that. It's just an easier way, at least we have some locations I'll be able to access for transportation. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on that.
Does Chris need to have his truck made whole? Jamie?
He did spend, it was one of those soft covers
Yeah.
and the clip broke and couldn't ever get it back to
Yeah.
fix. And
Got
so
one
now
on my
he's got
truck.
a little bit more of a solid back. Yeah, it costs a little bit. But that's the only problem when you think about, we're using our own personal vehicles.
I know.
And
I hear you.
that's
I hear
the
you.
sad thing of it, but what else are you gonna
Yeah.
try to do? And I still will use it for travel board. But he doesn't know that yet. but-
If we broke this truck, you need to submit a claim.
How do we do that?
I wouldn't know. I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you.
The insurance, see if that's covered under insurance. If he spent money,
That's why it probably would be best if we rented vehicles that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of-
Personal vehicle and we wouldn't have this problem.
But you know, I'd be the first one to say use that truck too, but you don't think about what's gonna work and happen.
Well, I was just gonna volunteer my truck first and you broke it. I'm thought,
You know, trying to pull it up and it.
I know my cover like that. I don't let anybody else touch it, cause it's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, and don't go there and anything.
Oh, yeah, I got a tutorial.
Steve, I happen to have a meeting, Doug, my son, investor question, we're both having the office at 1:30 to meet about something else. Should I inquire about?
I think it's my obligation, you know, covered with insurance or not, it feels to me like we broke it, we bought it.
I'll ask them about it, but if they say it's not covered, I'll let you know.
Deductibles, they're gonna be voting, which is gonna exceed.
And I don't even have these stuff, my husband still has the invoice and all that, so I didn't even.
I'll ask them.
For people, it's on my lunch, how's that? Why don't you two brothers?
Yeah.
honestly, come down, behind the couple off.
Yeah, we can work out.
All right, so I just want to give you that.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Good deal.
Hey Shelley, all this work for just one day.
Well, we have satellites, travel boards, and it's so throughout the whole month, basically, we're constantly busy. Yeah.
2 places gave, but y'all are just
Just the one.
can't use the Methodist church.
Hey, Shelley.
All right. I don't have anything else right now. Do you gentlemen have anything else?
No. Good. Want a motion to adjourn?
Unless you've got anything else?
Public comments.
Oh, yeah. Guess we're gonna do that.
All right,
Wait, motion's done.
Second.
all right, motion carried.